Hey everyone, I just read Leviathan Wakes by James S. A. Corey, and it was pretty good, but it's definitely not perfect. That aside, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't happy to read a science fiction story unrelated to Halo for a change. It's a book about Earth, Mars, and those living amongst the moons of the solar system's gas giants and the asteroid belt coming to the brink of all-out war after a mysterious spaceship destroys an ice hauler responding to a distress signal out in Saturn's rings, while a washed-out detective on Ceres gets dumped with solving the sudden disappearance of the daughter of a powerful Earther businessman. And I'm sure these things will turn out to be completely unrelated. The pros? The book does a great job of forming the suspension of disbelief by treating gravity and the sheer distance between everything in the solar system with relative realism. It makes the more outwardly science fiction aspects that crop up later on more easily acceptable. In this regard, the world building was very well done. The book spins a good yarn with the mystery of Julie Mao's disappearance and the destruction of the Canterbury that build to some spectacular twists and turns along the way, and I really liked the characters. They feel very believable and human, be they point of view or secondary characters. Holden and Miller, the main two viewpoint characters, especially read like two separate people with different drives and priorities, which makes sense given the book was written by two people, and it was interesting to see how they interpreted each other from their own perspectives. The cons? The pacing of this book is all over the place. Holden's first act journey is especially rocky with how many ships get blown out from under him in quick succession. The plot feels like it climaxes 3 times, it's just a clunky mess and it grated for me at points. The world building is pretty simple. There's Earth, which is old but has the most of everything. There's Mars, which is stronger but has fewer people. There's the Belt and the Outer Planets Alliance, who are the freedom fighter underdogs. And that's about it. There's nothing particularly wrong with this approach, and overall this is a nitpick given I know later books do add more depth to these factions, but I would have liked to have seen a bit more complexity here from the get-go. And this is another nitpick, but there's not really a central antagonist to focus on. There are villains running around being nefarious in the story, but most are impersonal or appear so little that they're not really present enough to give the protagonists an ongoing drive to stop them across the entire story. Something that only adds to the clunkiness of the pacing in my opinion. But again, I know this is something changed in later books. Overall, this book is a bit of a rocky start, probably due to the writers finding their footing with each other, but it's still pretty good, and I'd give it an easy recommend if you're a fan of science fiction because it is something different from your usual space opera. I know the TV show was very popular too, but I could never get into it because of how drawn out the pacing was and how forced the episodic character conflicts felt in the early seasons. But if you're a fan and you've never read the books, I'd suggest you give it a read if you haven't already. And I'm giving Leviathan Wakes a low A. What should I read next? Comment down below. If you liked the review and want to see more, please like and subscribe. I've started a new channel for gaming related reviews. Go check it out if you haven't. It's called MonotomReads. The link is down in the description below. Please head over there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.